now. Peace. It's Dewan Dandridge, again from Black Leads Detroit, and we are still celebrating Black History Month. And today's recipient is Ida Bird-Hill from Automation Workz. And I'm excited for y'all to hear about what she has going on at Automation Workz, the work that they're doing there. If you've been following us, you know that we are celebrating Black History Month by doing a $2,000 grant giveaway to somebody that's doing amazing work within the city of Detroit. If you aren't aware, the way that we found these candidates is we ask our members to nominate someone. And what it means to be a member at Black Leads Detroit is you donate $1 or more a week to help us continue to do the work that we're doing. And Jason Cole nominated you, Ida. Can you just talk a little bit about what it means to you for somebody from the community to recognize the work and nominate you for this?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Jason. I've known him for over 20 years, and he knows I have been in this process of educating people in technology for about 20 years. Even though technically Automation Workz is a startup, we didn't get started until March of 2019, but we rolled out of a nonprofit that has been doing technology work for a long time. We've had an event at the North American International Auto Show that was there for 3 years, which was the first to have a Black family event there. We've been a consultant for DPS for about 12, 13 years. We even piloted a high school in the CompuWare building for 1.5 years for Detroit Public Schools to see how young people take to virtual education. So I am so excited that he thought of us, because I'm always in the grassroots getting work done. And I don't spend as much time networking as I used to, because I'm looking for learners. I'm looking for people who want a real career in tech.
So what does that look like? What can you talk a little bit about the work that you do at Automation Workz, and who's a good candidate?
Automation Workz is a certification reskilling firm, and we train people in cybersecurity, network engineering, and the Internet of Things. Those are some emerging technology that is growing like a weed. And I tell people say, I've never heard of network engineers. Well, we survived on network engineers through the whole pandemic because the entire internet is girded by us. We program it, we keep it running, we keep it protected. You would have died without us. But you don't see us because a lot of times we're behind the scenes, or we're in a data room or the data closet, as a lot of people call us. But it's a career that's always going to be here as long as the internet is here. And whether it's on a consumer basis or whether it's a corporate basis, wherever there's the internet, there's a network engineer. Cybersecurity is a subspecialty of network engineering because they protect the network and they write the policies of how we handle the protection. And so we train for those two careers. What most people do not realize, you don't need a bachelor's degree for those careers. You do need a certification. So we provide that training to help you get that certification exam underneath your belt. It replaces a bachelor's degree. And we're looking for people who really want a real career. One of our claims to fame, about 30% of our learners have owned over 6 figures. Right now, highest to date is 120, although one of my students is getting ready to clips and knock that person off their record because they just got an offer of 150,000.
That's huge.
And it's a serious career. Now, is it for the faint-hearted? Probably not. Our training program is 12 months long, part-time. I tell people we're virtual. Our hands-on simulation work is based digital simulations. And we do about 152 of those. If you were in a regular traditional classroom over a 12-month period, if you did 50, that would be the max. So we're doing 3 times the max. And we do that for a reason, because if you go to a company to interview and you have a technical exam, you can pass it. If you have a technical interview, which is verbal technical exam, you can pass it with flying colors. Because at the end of the day, we're want to make sure that people can be able to get to 6 figures. And so that's what we do. And so we're excited about it.
Nice. No, I mean, that sounds amazing. And before we started recording, you and I were talking a little bit about, I was sharing with you that, you know, in my background, I would often look to teach people a skill. And I said that, you know, one of the things that I didn't learn how to do was teach desire and teach somebody to want it. But you said you had. So I didn't want to hear anything until I started recording. So please share with us all like how you teach somebody to want something?
In the middle of our curriculum, we have something that's called the life culture audit. And we actually started at the beginning of the process before we admit you. Since we don't look for individuals with great grades, we really want people who are hands-on video gamers, people who like consumer technology, because if they have the right work ethic, I can teach them anything. So what I do at the very beginning of the process, even before we admit them, they have to go through some series of battery exams, pretty much a video game audit. But then I also make them go through vision building. People go, why? Because if you don't know where you're going, I can't help you. It's like going on a trip. You got to know exactly where you're going to land. So even if you have the best GPS or the best map, if you have no idea where you're going, you're never going to get there. So I force every potential learner before they come into our school, that they have to go through vision boarding, goal setting, obstacles to their barriers. We look at their personality types to make sure that they're aligned in the right place. And what we find is that most people have never looked at real goals. They've never looked at vision. And I understood why. Because when I started this school, I'm probably not as young as I look. Most startups are done by young people. I'm 55 years old. So when I went into this, everybody told me, are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I'm pretty sane. I just decided that I really wanted to do it in a bigger way because we're all across the country. And one of the things I realized when someone said to me, oh, you're just a dreamer. And they said it so negative. They meant it negatively. And then I realized we as Black people are not given the license to dream. And one of the challenges we face, because we're not given the license to dream, but we are very inventive, very creative people. And those are the skills that are needed for the 21st century. But we as a community have killed those skills in our community. I have to remind people, Motown came because people were creative, because most of the singers had not a damn dollar.
Yes.
The reason they came to Motown because they couldn't make it to Hollywood, and it was closer, right? So my thing is, if we had just a little bit of imagination, at least in our community, the tech kind of goes with it, because our young people are always with their phone. They have made social media big. They have made apps big because they support a lot of that activity. The problem is they have not learned to be a producer of technology. And so we have this workshop that we lead them through. It's 90 minutes, and then they do 2 or 3 weeks worth of homework, because I want them to give some thought. They have to bring me back a vision board. They have to bring me back some goals. They have to talk to me about the barriers of getting there, and then what can we do to help get you there. Now, I have been doing this process probably the last 15 years. I started it when I had a high school in the Compuware building, and that was adjudicated youth. All 100% of my students went to post-secondary, given the fact they wouldn't come to school at all. To me, that was a great feat. The bulk of them were male.
Amazing.
And so we started it there, and everybody said, oh, you're crazy, that doesn't make any sense. And then after we got the 100% to matriculate, we couldn't get a charter, because one of the challenges that the schools did not want me to compete against them, because I'm going to grind you to a pulp, because I believe in our community. So I kind of did a lot of activities, including having an event at the auto show while I'm experimenting with this workshop. Well, I have just decided that I'm going to convert the workshop to a mobile app as an assessment tool, because one of the things that post-secondary has done to us is that everything is based on whether we do well in algebra. So we get screened out a lot of trades, a lot of post-secondary training if we can't do algebra. And I assert you don't need algebra. What I need is a work ethic, or grit as I call it, motivation to get to the end. And if I have those two, I can teach you anything and get you anywhere you need to go. Well, because my school has a 75% completion rate, which is very unusual in the Black community in tech, we land in a lot of radars. And one of those radars is Pearson, the big educational company. So they are our partner in developing this assessment tool, because we know it works. We just applied for a couple more grants. One of them a federal grant, where they decided, that they put in writing that they're going to mentor us through the process and support us in the distribution channel, because I believe that I can stroke up that desire, because I believe that the Black community has somewhat killed the desire, because we make everyone want to be realistic And then what's around us is so negative sometimes. There's no hope there, but we're going to open up that hope, because I noticed once we take you through the vision board, it wakes up something in people that they've never thought about, because no one gives them the freedom to think about it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, we believe in, you know, I guess barrierless dreaming, right? And ideas here at Black Leaders Detroit, right? Like we have very lofty goals, and we don't make goals that we don't go after, right? Like we intend to accomplish and surpass the goals, right? So it's exciting to hear about the work that you're doing, the approach that you take, the faith that you have in the community. And I think it's, if somebody like you is going to put the work in to make it happen, I think it's a little bit easier to have that kind of faith. So I am very happy to meet you. I'm so glad that Jason is a member here at Black Leaders Detroit, but I'm also glad that he nominated your organization to receive this grant. So blessings to you. Keep up the good work. And I hope to see you out in the field.
And I actually am glad to see that you're doing the work, and I thank you for the grant. But I'm also going to become a member because I believe in paying it forward. I didn't even know you existed, so it's good to know that. But for $1 a week, I can do that, because I believe that there are a lot of young people who have really big dreams, and that they just need some people to believe in their dream. And $2,000 can really get somebody someplace quickly to know that they have some support to make it happen. Because I believe that our community is very profitable. I believe that we can make a lot of money in our community. Yes. We just have to believe that we can.
I agree. And thank you in advance for becoming a member. That's gets us closer to our goal of 1 million people making that commitment. And if you're watching this and you haven't signed up to become a member yet, ask yourself, what are you waiting for? We're trying to continue to make history and help us do that. Thank you. Peace. All right. I'm going to stop.